Got any advice for guys who are getting older and suddenly realizing it? Yeah, I do. And it's simple. Start moving. Lift some weights. Learn Jiu-Jitsu. Go for a run. Stretch your body. Clean up your diet. Lay off the booze. It's not rocket science. Here's the hard truth. If you don't use it, you will lose it. That's just biology. Every single day you skip the work, you're not just standing still, you're sliding backwards. It shows. It creeps up on you. You're not 23 anymore. You can't coast on youth. That window has closed. Now you've got to earn it every damn day. You know what most people are doing? Scrolling Instagram, watching Netflix, out at dinner, catching a movie, wasting time. You know what I'm doing instead? I'm reading. I'm prepping for a podcast. I'm coaching. I'm designing. I'm writing. I'm building. I'm thinking about the next move, the next supplement, the next opportunity. Someone asked me recently, are you working more now than you were when you were in the SEAL teams? I didn't even have to think about it. Absolutely. I'm working harder now. Because here's the thing, motivation is unreliable. It fades. It disappears. It doesn't show up when you need it most. Discipline, that's the difference maker. Discipline shows up even when you don't feel like it. You wake up tired, you still train. You're not in the mood, you still execute. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. And that's what separates the guys who used to be something from the guys who still are. Want real freedom in life? Discipline is the price of admission. Every single time. That's really what it comes down to. Discipline. You've got to be the kind of person who just gets up and gets it done.
You know those weekends where you only had like 2 things on your to-do list? Nothing crazy. You just had to write that one thing and respond to that email or message. And Friday comes and you tell yourself, I'll knock it out Saturday. Then Saturday rolls around and you're like, all right, maybe later, definitely Sunday. And now it's Sunday night and those 2 tiny tasks have haunted your entire weekend. But if you'd just taken an hour on Friday to do the work, you would have felt free the whole weekend. So yeah, just do the damn thing. Stop overthinking it. Stop negotiating with yourself. Just shut up and handle it. Now, what do elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athletes and top-tier special operations operators have in common? It's an interesting balance, almost a paradox. The best ones all share this rare combo of extreme discipline and raw creativity. In Jiu-Jitsu, if you're not training constantly, if you're not consistent, you don't stand a chance. That's discipline. Same thing in special operations. If you're not grinding through the preparation, pushing your limits in training, you're not gonna last. But here's the twist. If all you are is structured, if you're so locked into routine that you can't think outside the lines, you're toast. Because whether it's on the mat or on the battlefield, you need to be creative. You've got to see what others miss, improvise on the fly, find the angle nobody expects. The real high performers, they're both soldiers and artists. They can stick to a regimen, but when the moment calls for it, they break pattern, adapt, and create. They solve problems in ways that make others stop and go, how did they even think of that? But if you're too rigid, if you're trapped by your own discipline, you hit a wall. In Jiu-Jitsu, that means your game gets predictable. You'll still be good, sure, but you'll cap your potential. So the key is this: be disciplined enough to stay sharp, but free enough to be dangerous. You know what's wild about the SEAL teams, especially back when I was coming up? We had 0 written doctrine. Nothing. No manual, no playbook, no step-by-step guide.
Everything was passed down word of mouth. You learned from the guys who came before you. That sounds kind of cool, right? And sometimes it was. But here's the catch. If those guys didn't actually know what they were doing, guess what? You learned their bad habits. And unless you had the awareness to question things, to really think critically about what you were being taught, you could end up repeating mistakes without even realizing it. So what happened was, we ended up with a culture of guys who had to be open-minded and adaptable. We didn't have a script, so we got good at solving problems on the fly. We had to think. We had to improvise. Now, compare that to the Army or the Marine Corps. They've got doctrine for everything. Want to know how to run a raid? There's a manual for that. Need to set up an ambush? Open the book. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually a huge advantage.
If I'm a brand new platoon commander and I've never done an ambush before, I can just flip to the page and learn how to do it. That level of structure and clarity is powerful, especially when you're just starting out. But in the SEAL teams, because we didn't have that structure, we developed a different edge. We were forced to think creatively. And in certain situations, that made us more flexible, sometimes even more effective, because we weren't locked into one way of doing things. So, what's the lesson here? Sometimes your strength is also your weakness, and your weakness might just be your strength. But the key is being aware of that. If you know your strength can work against you, you stay humble, you stay sharp. If you recognize that your so-called weakness might actually give you an edge, you can learn how to use it. That awareness, that's the real power. Because when you understand both sides of what you bring to the table, that's when you start thinking at your highest level. Someone asked me the other day, "Hey man, are you working more now than when you were in the SEAL teams?" And without hesitation, I said, absolutely. Not just working harder, working more. More hours, more days, no real weekends, no nights off. The difference now, I actually love what I do. So even though I'm putting in more time, it doesn't feel like a grind. It feels aligned.
I've somehow managed to line up what I want with what I actually want to want, if that makes sense. They've merged. What drives me and what fulfills me, they're the same thing now. And here's the other piece. I've gotten really good at not doing the stuff I don't want to do. And that's not about being lazy, it's about being intentional. My business partner at Echelon Front, Leif Babin, brought this up to me not too long ago. He was neck deep in a bunch of tasks he wasn't enjoying, and he said, "I've got to do this, I've got to handle that." I asked him straight up, why? Why are you doing that? He looked at me kind of puzzled and said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Get someone else to do it. Delegate. Free yourself up to focus on what actually matters." A week later, he came back and told me, I've been thinking about that. You're really good at not doing the things you don't want to do." And he's right. I've just learned that being productive isn't about doing more. It's about doing what only you can do and letting go of the rest. That's the shift. That's where freedom lives. You know what I've actually gotten really good at? Not doing the stuff I don't want to do. And that's not about avoiding hard things. It's about choosing the right hard things. Because you should be doing something hard every single day. That's why I love Jiu-Jitsu. In Jiu-Jitsu, you're gonna get choked. You're gonna be uncomfortable. Someone's gonna smash you. You'll have to tap out. Your ego is going to get wrecked. And that's the whole point. So yeah, go do that. Go run, go lift, go do something that challenges you, something that humbles you. Lean into the discomfort. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you stay human. That's how you keep your edge. Because if life gets too easy, too soft, you start to slip, and that's where things start falling apart.
Now look, I'll say this too. Any idea, even a great one, can go off the rails if you take it too far. Take something like extreme ownership, a principle I stand by. But if you stretch that idea past its breaking point, like blaming yourself for your daughter getting sick, or thinking it's your fault if someone else mistreats you, that's not strength, that's distortion. Every principle has a breaking point. Push it too far, and even something good can turn toxic. So the key is this: do the hard things, but stay grounded. Own your life, but don't lose your perspective. Stay sharp, stay humble, and know where the line is. That's how you keep moving forward without losing yourself in the process. Yeah, sure. Sometimes life throws stuff at you that's so ridiculous you almost have to laugh. It can get pretty absurd depending on how you look at it. But real talk, hard things are coming. Challenges, setbacks, pressure, it's part of the deal. That's life. And when that moment hits, you've got a choice. You can curl up, feel sorry for yourself, start complaining, blaming, spiraling. But let's be honest, that gets you nowhere. Zero progress. Or you can look at the situation, take a breath, and say, all right, this sucked, but what can I do? What can I adjust? What's the next move? That shift in mindset, that's power. That's how you take control instead of folding. Because sitting in the corner feeling defeated never helped anybody. But adapting and moving forward, that's how you win. If that hit home or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. We've got more mindset shifts,
hard truths, and practical tools coming your way. Keep showing up, keep getting after it. I'll see you in the next one.